We all have those crazy funny stories, but I think we all have those crazy real stories. And they're things that happen to us that they change what happens to you for the rest of your life. And right at that moment, I realized my life was never going to be the same. And I was going to have two choices to make.
We had Mr. Bill Kurek in speaking to our senior class for their end of the year retreat as they prepare to move on to life after high school. A couple of things that he talked about based on speaking to some of our seniors who put the retreat together were generally the concept of, as we move on from high school, what are the good choices that we are supposed to be making and how are some of those good choices made.
Instead of letting something that was bad to me and one of the worst things that ever happened to me, because through that time frame, I watched my dad, I watched how hurt he was. I watched my mom struggle with money. I watched all the bad things that came along. I watched what happened to myself, my sister. But we're gonna have things that happen to you guys, especially coming out, being seniors here. You're gonna get put into spots when you're in college, where you're gonna have to make a choice, and you're gonna have to make a decision, and that choice is gonna alter you for the rest of your life. When you make choices and you make decisions in your life that are gonna change you, crazy things will start to happen. You guys are gonna hit crossroads in your life where you're gonna make a choice and it's gonna take you on one path. And I'm gonna talk about some choices and some things that I did when I was your age, when I was 17, 18 years old. And I'm gonna talk about choices that I made they took me down the wrong path. And they were things that I did that were really dumb and they were really bad decisions. And I'm gonna talk about some things that put me on the path to where I am today.
Bill Kurek came to speak to our senior retreat this year, and it was a really inspirational talk. He touched upon a lot of different themes, and many of which we had covered this year at different points. One topic he covered was bullying, and how often people participate in it, get involved in it, and never give it a second thought, or sometimes just sit idly by and don't think of getting involved. And sometimes all it takes is a word or a simple gesture that lets someone know that there is someone who cares about them and can make all the difference.
I was a bully when I was a teenager. And I thought, man, is there anything that I can do to change that? Because when you stick up for somebody or when you stand up for them and they know they have somebody on their side, you can change everything for that person. And I realized up to that point in my life, when I heard what a real man was, that I wasn't living up to that. I wasn't living up to the standards that I wanted for my life. I wasn't living up to the standards that I wanted for my son or my daughter or my wife either. It's crazy what'll happen to you in your life when you start making choices and changes, because right around that time frame when I was 17, I actually had what I didn't realize, but I had an addiction. It became more important to me to not have things like that, vices in my life, control me. I didn't want to be controlled by something else. I wanted to control what happened to me. What happened was, I realized that I liked who I was when I didn't drink. I liked who I was when I was around her. I liked who I was when she was influencing me. Things that you do today are going to impact you for the rest of your life. And if I hadn't quit drinking or I hadn't committed to that, I wouldn't be married right now. You're going to have those two choices. You're going to you can get bitter about something or you can get better. And start thinking about what you actually want for your future. Start thinking about what you actually want 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. Because what you do today will be what you become in 2 to 5 years.